Good morning, children. After long days, we have started our class. So, welcome back again. Till now, we were in the mood of Christmas, festival, and New Year and exams mode. Right? Now, again, we have to keep all those things aside and come back to your classes. So, we have conducted the exams, right? So, during exams, I have observed some parents are calling me and asking that where do you having these types of questions. They are searching in the textbooks and the workbooks. So when we are explaining the classes, already I am informing you that you have to read the textbook, and I am going to give you some questions from middle of the lesson. So for that I gave you 2 days homework as reading session, right? But many of the children are not able to find the answers that I have given from the textbook. It is clearly understood that you are not following the textbook and you are not following the regular classes. That is, you are listening, you are watching and you are listening the starting of the video. First 3-4 minutes, then ending. What is the ending? Homeworks. So you are listening the homework. And in between, what is happening in the lesson and what is that going on in the class and what is the teacher is saying, that all you are not listening. Just you are leaving it. Only starting of the video and ending of the video you are listening. If you listen the full video, you will be able to answer it immediately. So once again, I am giving you the instruction that now it's time for you to follow the regular classes, and every day, whatever homework we are giving, on that particular day you have to learn and read the textbook. They have given some examples and some question answers, some tables, and do you know boxes like this. Many informations are there in the textbook. So you have to follow the textbook and you have to follow the video. Full video you have to listen, children. Already we have lost 1 year. Many times I have told you. And this year we have told about the resolution, right? You make a habit that you have to listen the teacher's word. That is the first resolution what you have to do. Just you make a habit to listen the teacher's word. Okay. And I have observed you that many of the handwritings are very bad, being in the 7th class. So this year resolution you have to take that you will definitely improve your handwriting. Your handwriting is very bad. So you yourself you have to promise that no, my handwriting is very bad. This year I am going to improve the handwriting. Because while doing corrections, it is not up to your standard, children. You are not maintaining the handwriting properly. So please maintain the handwriting properly and try to improve it. This is one more instruction I am going to give you this year. And the next thing is that out of the box, that is out of the textbook, I have given you some questions. So this time I have given you from the textbook and from the workbook. Maybe next time you cannot find the answers from the textbook. That type of questions will also be given. So this time I am going to give you the questions from the textbook, but answers will not be there in the textbook. At that time, what will you do, children? You will search in the textbook at that moment. So for that the reason you have to listen the class, because some question and the answers will not be mentioned in the textbook. Answers will be given by the teacher at the time when they are explaining. Not only in my subject, other subjects also. So you're going to 8th class, then you should have some GK also, like general knowledge. Some questions will be given like general knowledge also. So in this way you have to improve a lot. Don't neglect your studies this year. Okay, now coming back to the chapter. These are all the instructions I have given you. Now we have start the lesson. Already we are continuing our lesson number 12, reproduction plan, session number 65. So today onwards again you have to send the homeworks regularly to my personal number, and you have to mention the name and the session number. Okay, we have learned about the different parts of the flower, like corolla, thalamus, calyx, androecium, gynoecium. What are the male reproductive products and what are the female reproductive products, and about the stamens, they will be having the different shapes and the size, and the pistils are also different. And we have taken a hibiscus plant, hibiscus flower, and I have explained you. If it is a datura flower, it will be more better for you to understand. So whenever you get time, you once again you can go through the video and you compare the stamens and the pistils and the corolla, thalamus, everything. You have to take a datura flower and you have to observe by yourself. When you listen the class and when you observe it, then it will be very easy for you when you are writing in your exams. Is it right? And we have learned about the complete flower and the incomplete flower, unisexual flower, bisexual flower. So all this is about the recall of the lesson. That is, before 10 days you have not listened the class. I think you might have forgot about this chapter. That's why once again I'm just giving you the recall session. That is what we have learned in this chapter. Till now what we have learned. What is a complete flower? What we have learned, when it contains the androecium and gynoecium, it is called as a complete flower. An incomplete flower, which has example like cucumber, bottle gourd, and papaya. Okay, right. Unisexual flower, it be having only either stamen or the pistil. Bisexual flower, it is having the both stamens and the pistil. Example is datura. So in this way we have learned about this all, and this chapter is very important for you. Based on this chapter, you will be having the classes in the next classes like 8th class and 9th class and the 10th class also. So if you are perfect in this 7th class, it will be better for you in the higher classes. So one of the important lesson we are going through, but we got unfortunately a break. So don't worry about that one. Once again you read the textbook from the starting, and once again you listen the previous video. Okay, right. Now, and also we have learned that agents that help over your flower to develop into fruits. So already we have I have explained you how does the pollination, what is the pollination, how does the cross pollination occurs. The transfer of pollen grains from one another to stigma is known as a pollination. Then what is the cross pollination? If transfer of pollen grains take place within the flower, it is known as the self pollination. Or the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to the stigma of another flower of same species is called cross pollination. So here the pollination occurs in the same plant, then it is called as a self pollination. When the pollination occurs between the two plants of the same species, then it is said to be a cross pollination. From one flower to the another flower. Okay. If the pollen grains transfer from same flower, then it is called as self-pollination. If the pollen grains transfer from one flower to the another flower in the same plant and the same species, then it is said to be a cross-pollination. And already we have learned the agents of pollination. Agent means the one who carries the message is called agent. So here the air, water, insects and the human beings, they will carry the reproductive products like organs, like a stigma and the pollen grains. Then here the pollination, say cross pollination will occur, and this is called as a agents of pollination. We have studied now insects like butterflies. What they'll do, they suck the nectar from the flower. During this time, what happens? At this time, the flower will stick to the legs of the butterfly. Then it will glow. It will fly and go to the another flower, and here the pollination occurs. So in this way, the air, water, animals, insects, and humans acts as agents of pollination. This is what we have learned. In Do You Know box, we have learned that birds and insects are the natural agents of pollination. So, because birds and insects will carry these pollen grains and they'll be flying and going to all different types of plants, then here the pollination occurs. Nowadays, farmers use pesticides to control pests on the crops. What happens because of these to control the pest on the crops? అంటే చెట్లకు బాగా పురుగు పట్టడం వల్ల మనకి ఏంటి పంటలు సరిగ్గా పండట్లే. To avoid this, they are using the pesticides. So what happened during this time when we are using these pesticides? Unfortunately, the insects are dying. Okay. So when these die, what happens? The pollination will not occur naturally. Then we lost the plants. The rate of the pollination is reduced because of the lack of insects in the field. So పొలంలో ఎక్కువగా insects ఉంటేనే pollination occur అవుతుంది. So insects లేకపోతే natural pollination ఉండదు. So this is how we are destroying our nature. So this is all we have learned in this chapter. Now we'll continue. What happens to the pollen grain after pollination? Once again, I'm giving instruction that when I'm reading the chapter, you go through the chapter. You open the textbook and you have to listen it. Take two slides, put 2 to 3 drops of sugar solution on one side and 2 drops of water on other side. Add some sugar grains to water on one side. Now put some pollen grains to hibiscus flower on the both sides. After 1 hour, observe under microscope. In which slide do pollen grains begin to germinate and why? There are some substances present on the stigma which promote the germination of pollen grains. During germination, a tube grows from the pollen grains. So here they are asking to take the slides that we use in the lab, and we have to add the 2 to 3 drops of sugar crystals on the water on one slide. Now put some pollen grains of hibiscus flowers on the both slides. After 1 hour, you can, what is that you are observing? So you can observe that there are some substances present on the stigma. So on the stigma there are some substances that help for the germination. So what happens during the germination? A tube will grow from the pollen grain. This tube ultimately reaches the ovary through the style with the male part. This male part fuses with the female part in the ovule of the ovary. Fusion of units of male and female parts to form a structure called zygote is called fertilization. So here you can see here, this is the ovary and this is the pollen tube. So from the pollen tube, what happens from the pollen tube? From the pollen grain, a tube started growing, and it will reach to the ovule of the ovary, and here the zygote, like the baby, is forming. This is called as a fertilization. After fertilization, seed develops from the ovule, and the ovary usually develops into a fruit. After fertilization, what happens? Again, a seed will grow from it one, and from the ovary a fruit will grow. The entire process of fertilization and formation of zygote is known as a sexual reproduction. It is nothing but giving birth to a baby is called a like a dog gives birth to a puppy, then it is called as a reproduction. So here what happens? In the same way the plant, in plant also reproduction process is there, but it is little different when comparing to the animals. Okay. So the entire process of fertilization. So what happens here? The formation of zygote. So here you can see from here the like embryo we are having in the chick, we have learned that embryo grows in the hen's egg. So what happens in the egg? There is a embryo that develops and grow into a baby chick. So in the same way here this is called as a zygote. So the formation of the zygote is called as a sexual reproduction. For the formation of a seed, sexual reproduction is asexual. To form the seed, oka vittanam molavali ante cheytlo nunchi daniki sexual reproduction is important. The seed thus formed are dispersed to different places by agents like air, water, birds and animals, and human beings as well. These seeds grow into new plants under favorable conditions. So after seed formation, what happens? With the help of these agents, they'll transfer from one place to another, and from there again the new baby plant grows. So production of baby plants or offspring from the zygote is called sexual reproduction. So baby plant, from a zygote, when a baby plant grows, then this is called as a sexual reproduction. We often find that some plants produce new plants from the vegetative parts. Can you name some of these plants? So this is your homework, children. They have given a name of the plant, plant part from which new plant produced. So all the plants will not grow from the same part. So it is different when comparing to the all plants. ఒక్కొక్క ప్లాంట్ లో ఒక్కొక్క పార్ట్ రీప్రొడక్టివ్ పార్ట్ ఉంటుంది. సో here you write the name of the plant, and other side you have to write the part from where the new plants grow. Okay, right? This is your homework, children. Search and write it and send me definitely. Reproduction in plants when occurs using plant other than the flower is called asexual reproduction. So other than the flower నుంచి కాకుండా వేరే పార్ట్ నుంచి బేబీ ప్లాంట్ గ్రో అవుతే దాన్ని asexual reproduction అంటారు. The most interesting thing in plants is baby plant can grow even without formation of seeds. That is without sexual reproduction. Let us study some such process. Example, vegetative reproduction. Production of new plants from vegetative parts of a plant, that is root, stem and leaf, is known as vegetative reproduction. Root నుంచి మళ్ళీ baby plant రావడం, stem నుంచి baby plant రావడం, leaf నుంచి baby plant రావడం. This is called as a vegetative reproduction. So this is your homework, children. Fill up this table one time and write neatly. Go through the class once again. I hope you'll definitely follow the instructions. Thank you, children.